Hey guys, it's Postboxpat. Welcome back to a brand new Fortnite storyline video. We're going to be focusing around the Doomsday device and the upcoming live event, giving you guys lots of content to be excited about. I can't wait to get into today's video and explain exactly what is going on here. Now guys, if you don't already know, roughly 84% of you guys weren't subscribed to the channel. Well, it looks like we've improved that, and now 81% of you guys watching aren't subscribed to the channel. So let's keep on improving that and smashing that subscribe if you've not already. Also, don't forget, if you want to go and support me further during these difficult times, it really does help out. Code Postboxpat in the item shop. I am a #Epic Games partner. I do receive 5%, and it actually is really helping at this moment in time because the ad revenue is low across the board. One last thing I want to say is if you have notifications turned on and you haven't been receiving them for my video, that's because roughly 70,000 of you have notifications on but haven't enabled YouTube to allow notifications to go to your device. So just check that out in your settings. Okay, so in total guys, we've got a total of 4 different theories throughout this video. I want you guys to vote on which one you believe in the most at the end of the video and comment down below your theories, and make sure you stay throughout because you want to hear all 4 because some of them are insane. Alright, the first one's a pretty good one, and we're starting off with the idea of the lake draining with an interactive event. So how would this work? Well, currently we obviously know we have this kind of plug type system down here, which looks like it's going to open up. It's almost clear that it's going to open up. Now I've said this in a previous video, but I didn't really go into much detail about how this is going to work because in the past I wanted to kind of keep it for this video, and this is actually regarding how the lake is going to drain and how we could do it. So it would be done interactively around the map. For example, we might have to break something as a community, or we'd have to maybe get a certain amount of eliminations in one area, or we'd have to take things to that area. For example, you might have to maybe take a henchman to maybe a portal to cause them to get extracted or something, and after we've extracted say 10,000 henchmen by carrying them over there as a community, the plug opens up. Now obviously there would be a set time frame on it if we weren't to complete it because the event will be scheduled for a certain date, but to complete it faster and to cause the lake to drain live interactively, we could do it. So what would happen is each week, or for example each few days, we'd see each point slowly start to drain. And the reason I say the word drain is because it would work, because you can see on each of these points where the lake leads off to a different area, they kind of go downwards, the ground goes down. Do you see what I mean? So Epic would simply put in a small bug fix, small patch to create a mini waterfall leading into here, and it would just be slow dripping water, I guess, or it could even be a decent speed of water, but it could just be because the water would still be here, but it would be below the drain. So the water would be where I am sat right now, and we'd see probably about 1 meter, 2 meters worth of water slowly drain, maybe even more, maybe 3 meters. I don't know how deep that actually is. It looks about 2 meters, I guess, maybe 3. I can't really tell, but you'd see a good amount of water drain from the lake, which would work quite well, which then would allow something to happen regarding the lake and this area with something appearing from these. Now we don't exactly know what it could be, but that's theory 1, talking about the lake being drained. Now theory 2 is talking about a force field around this area. You're probably like, hold on a minute Pat, what are you even on about, a force field? Well, check this clip out on here from Top 5 Gaming. They actually made this design, and this is actually the lasers beaming up into the sky from these points, maybe once the lake has been drained, causing a huge force field bubble around this. Another theory regarding where the bubble could come from is actually being potentially from the generator known as the Doomsday device, which is located in Midas's room. Why am I saying there's going to be a force field around here? Well, because I actually believe that Midas himself seems to be a good guy. So you're probably wondering, Pat, how on earth is this force field going to get here, and why is it even going to be here? Well, I've actually come to admit that potentially that we may see Midas not being as bad as he is. What if Midas is actually on Ghost's side and he's building this generator to defeat Chaos Agent's plan? He's already taken out a bunch of Shadow Agents and Chaos Agent himself, as you can see in his screen kind of recording here from his opening scene. But we also know that Midas is on Ghost's side currently, and is he trying to protect the layer from Oro, maybe even Wrath, who are going to attack with Team Shadow, part of Chaos Agent's plan? Even if Chaos Agent is eliminated, we may get an assault on this area, and I do think that's why the force field may be being built. So let me jump you guys to a little bit of a treat from Donald Mustard right here. This is such a great quote and such a great tweet. Check it out on screen. You can see it, and it reads, "I often think of dramatic pacing like audio volume. With some stories, you work slowly to crank it as loud as possible so that when you ratchet it back to 0, you feel the full impact of both extremes." What that's describing there is how he built it up throughout Season 1 to Season X, and then he suddenly just took it all away with the huge end event and brought us Chapter 2 Season 1. And then he goes and says, then, when the new volume feels like the normal, which it does, you start to dial it up again. So what's that saying is this event is going to be huge. It's going to be different. It's not going to be the same from anything else. That's why I really wanted to talk about my thumbnail, which you can see right here. So in my thumbnail, I've put the rocket in only because we don't actually have any other assets for that kind of missile effect, maybe attacking here, which we'll come into in a minute in another theory. I've also put Oro in. Maybe he's part of the assault on this bubble area which we could get, which is really nice to see. So great concept there, great design. I really do hope you guys do like that. It's maybe what we'll see during the event. It's my personal favorite theory, but we'll talk about the others because they are pretty good ones as well in a second. But one little thing to talk about as well is how this area itself, when I was talking about the generator being the Doomsday device in Midas's office, we know that potentially this statue here with this pool of water in could be interactive like we saw in the event with the monster versus the robot. I feel like this could potentially have something to do with the event, and we'll talk a little bit about it in a second. But the reason I'm saying that is because when you go underground here, you actually can't get through these walls. You can see, there's nothing under in that section of the map. It's giving us a clear kind of indication that maybe we're going to get pulled in under there, or maybe even the agency itself is actually storing the lobby screen underneath here. I have a feeling it might be, and we may see this open up. That leads to me to talk a little bit further about the third theory. So the third theory is the missile attack on this area. Now, considering that we're going to get a shield, we may see these sections open up to either cause or form the shield, or these could open up as maybe Shadow's plan. Maybe these aren't to do with the agency and he's firing missiles at this location, or just in general we receive maybe a missile or some sort of crazy device coming from a different section of the map which actually eventually flies in at the agency and does damage to it. Now, what I feel like is going to happen here is, if you look at this screenshot here from Harry Potter, I feel like potentially we could get kind of like a light chain type thing attacking here. So I don't really know if it's going to be a missile, but imagine two laser beams contacting at each other, trying this huge impact on the agency's force field. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting with this, and I may believe that that could take place during the event. It's different and it's not something we've seen before. That's what we've got to think right here. We've got to think outside the box. We can't start predicting that the robot's going to come in and pull a sword out of the agency, which would be cool, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So that's my theory there regarding the missile attack on this section. Now, theory 4 is actually regarding the Chaos Agent army. Now, this is a great one, guys. I love this one because Chaos Agent has been eliminated. His Shadow army, the Slurp army, or will be technically forming and is still out there. So at his redacted bunker, you know that potentially the army is going to come out of there, rise itself towards the agency Shadow, and take out the last point of interest. We know that Shadow have been taking over the entire map all season. We've seen them take over almost every location. They've took over the rig, they've took over the grotto, and probably the shark next week or in the next few days on the update. And we also see that even the yacht itself is kind of struggling. They had to call in Deadpool for backup, and obviously that's worked quite well, and there's rumours that the yacht potentially would go down to the grotto. I said that in my previous story video. I feel like that could happen and Deadpool could assault the grotto to gain access over there, because the grotto kind of looks perfect for a missile launch for Team Shadow. I don't know if it would be, but it would be cool to see that happen. So if Chaos Agent's army was to be formed, how would the event go down and how would Epic deal with this? So I've actually come up with a great theory for this one. So if, for example, it could use a force field, it could use an invisible cloak shield, it could use even a floating island, or it could just completely start to vanish, which would be crazy if this device started causing things to vanish all over the map, kind of like warping time to one section. But whatever happens at the agency, how is the army going to be shown on the map? So this is the main part of the theory. I feel like we as users, as viewers of the event, would be up here in the sky, maybe in this view right here, maybe around the other side, just somewhere up in the sky like usual for the events, and we'll be seeing programmed AI attack this section. Now it'll be already programmed or animated. It won't be kind of interactive, like we won't be able to be on foot fighting against this AI, because say there's 1,000 slurps, which there probably won't be 1,000, but say 250 slurps attacking this area, or shadow soldiers, I don't think we would see that on the ground. We'd have to be in the sky. Or my other solution is, have you ever thought to yourself, the agency has a hole in its roof? Do you think maybe we'll get sucked through the hole and actually into the basement underneath here, which could potentially be obviously the lobby screen which we've been seeing, or a massive TV underground bunker which could protect us from the missiles being fired in, from the war, or just in general. So I guess this theory is kind of like the war, or kind of like the agency which sucks us into the view of the point. And what that would do is allow us, while we're down there, that we've been sucked in there or forced to go there by Epic Games, obviously with the development that we've done with previous things when we got sucked into the Unvaulting event, you know, we'd see a screen down there, and on that screen we'd be watching the event unfold. That would allow Epic to easily do this army scene without having any stress on the game at all. You're just watching it on a screen, there would not be anything going on. Now obviously once you're out of there, you may see, say, a huge device which Shadow bring here, and it starts to fire a huge laser, huge laser beam at this location, like boom, and it's just absolutely trashing it. And you see that hit the force field, and so much crazy stuff go down, leaded by Oro or Wrath. It's crazy, guys, but that's my theory for the army fight. And then obviously at the end of it, the agency would have to activate its force field, and then eventually they might press the button which is inside of Midas's layer, inside of here. He presses the button and boom, everything suddenly kind of pauses, time pauses, everything goes crazy from the Doomsday device, the kind of generator, the warp, and this leads into a few screenshots which I've got for you guys here, because we've been seeing evidence of the Unvaulting event here over at the rig, which actually has shadow screens on it. But a theory from Twitter which recently come in to me was talking about this was from Little Dude 21. He states that back in the Butterfly event there are a few different beams of light all over the place and kind of like strips. He kind of explains how these lines could be the time of other worlds crossing over each other, and all the timelines, and how these different parallel worlds all link in, which makes sense. Maybe when Midas presses this button and the Doomsday device activates, everything on this event just pauses. We see the laser beam just pause, which is absolutely smashing the agency's shield, completely destroying it. But when time pauses, everything goes crazy. Everything goes purple, it goes dark, it goes illuminated, and we start to see maybe the rise of Ghost again, but something crazy happens. So what could that be? Well, it's the map. It starts to link in again with parallel universes. We've seen Pleasant Park be on the Chapter 2 map. We've seen Retail Row. We also see another classic location which we all know as Risky Reels. So 3 locations there that have warped, and Salty as well. So the 4th one, in a kind of close space, suddenly they kind of start to disappear. But so do the locations that we've currently got, like Holy Hedges. So what happens then? Well, look at this map example you can see here. Now this won't be the entire map from the event, but we usually get map changes during the event. But I believe that we won't see any map changes as in new map changes, but I think we'll start to see locations get destroyed and vanish. I don't know, this is part of Theory 4 by the way guys. If the locations start to vanish, let's set this as the bonus theory for you guys, bonus Theory 5. If locations start to vanish due to the outcome of the event, will we start to see the reappearance of some of our favourite locations of all times? Just like on this map you can see right here, the Block, Tilted Towers, Neo Tilted, Mega Mall, Paradise Palms, Lucky Landing, and still containing some of the classic Chapter 2 locations as well, like Sweaty Sands, the area up on the top left by the Shard. Some classic stuff going on here for you guys, which we could see. And I don't see why not. Like, why would Fortnite not want this to happen? Because it brings back elements from Chapter 1, maybe not to this extreme, but to some extent, this map you can see. But that's going to be it for today's video. I do hope you have enjoyed my 5 theories on, including the bonus theory at the end, my 5 theories on potentially what's going to happen during the live event this season. I really do hope you guys have enjoyed. Don't forget to stick around on the channel, smash that subscribe, smash that notification bell if you love this sort of content, and stick around because I'm a legit channel. I create legit content, keeping you guys updated with everything Fortnite Battle Royale. I'll see you guys in the Battle Royale universe and on my future videos. Just click on screen right now to check out some of my other videos. I'll see you guys over there.